boy Tony. How you doing today? And this is my girl, Kylie.
Hello.
Say hi to everybody.
Hello, peoples.
Yeah, peoples. How you doing?
People.
All right, so let's jump in today's episode. And today's episode is, if you have these things, you are hurting your relationship with your daughter. What are these things? It's a great question. But hold on, before we dive in, I want to welcome you. So welcome to the Model Dad Revolution. Oh, yes, the Model Dad Revolution. So we can help dads find their fulfillment, awaken their power and strength inside there, that awesome power and strength that's already in there, so they can create the freedom, the happiness, the confidence, and the clarity that they're looking for, so they can build a powerful relationship with their daughter. Show me powerful. There we go. That's powerful right there. There we go. That's awesomeness. So that's what we do. That's what I do, is I help them build a powerful relationship. That's my obviously my daughter right here. I think most of you know that. If you're new here, this is my daughter, and we built a powerful relationship, and I share that with dads, how to do that. And I coach them on how to find that significance. But anyway, let's dive in. So what are these things that are wreaking havoc on your life and wreaking havoc on your daughter's life? It's actually causing you to go further and further and further and further and further apart versus getting closer. We don't mean to do these things, but it's exactly what we're doing. This is stuff I've learned over the years and over time. So what are those things? Should I tell them?
Yes, you should.
I should tell them?
I think they've been waiting enough.
You think?
Yes.
I don't know. Should we make them wait a little bit more?
No.
Don't tell them?
Tell
Okay.
them, Daddy.
So what are these things? I actually should have wrote it down so I could write it. I'm going to make a note for the next episode to start doing that. So what are these things? These things are unrealistic expectations. Woo. I'm going to get to expectations in general here in a second, but unrealistic expectations. So how do unrealistic expectations wreak havoc on our daughters' lives and draw us further apart from them? And here's what I want to talk about: unrealistic expectations anyways, expectations that are probably put onto us, that we took from our parents, which they took from their parents. So they're not even ours. But what we're doing is we're pushing these expectations on them, and if they don't fulfill them, it drives us crazy. So it makes us angry because they're not stepping up. They're not living up to that expectation. But here's the hidden thing that it does to your daughters. Do you know what it is?
No.
No, you don't, but you're going to know. You know what it is because I'm going to share a story about how I've done it to you accidentally, not realizing that's what I was doing.
Ooh.
But I'm going to get to that in here. So when we get angry because they're not meeting our expectations, our unrealistic expectations, whether those are having high grades, all A's, or doing something in sports, achieving something, doing something, being the top at whatever there is, when we get mad at them because they didn't live up to that standard, that expectation, not that standard, but the expectation, what we're pretty much telling them subconsciously is, oh, I'm not good enough. Because we yell at them, we get after them, we criticize them, we judge them, we try to coach them, thinking that we're doing good by them. And that's what we really ultimately we want for them. We want them to grow up happy, strong, and confident. We want the best for them. That's why we have these expectations. And again, these unrealistic ones, that it's actually hurting them because they feel like, I can't add up. I can never do things right. I'm trying so hard to prove that I am worthy, to prove that I'm good, and no matter what, whenever I mess up, my dad gets mad at me. He criticizes me. So nothing I do matters. So they shut down. Or they do the exact opposite. It looks like they're doing great, but they're putting all their effort into being the best they can, but they're putting all their worth into that single thing. And it looks like they're doing awesome, but they're miserable because if they don't have that thing that they're trying to achieve, because they're trying to prove that they are worth something, they don't have it, they feel worthless. They don't feel good about themselves. That's why expectations in general don't work, don't do well, because when we have expectations, man, they make us go crazy up inside, and when they don't hit it, we flip our lid and go crazy on that and criticize and judge, and we don't mean it because we do want the best for them. Now, I've had some people kind of lash back at me, not really get mad at me, but kind of just step back and say, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, life is going to throw expectations. Life is going to expect things of our kids, and their jobs are going to expect things from them, so we have to have expectations. And I want to say true. Life is going to expect things at you. But let me ask you this. the world expected men to be a certain way, and where has that gotten us? It's gotten us stressed, disconnected, depressed, angry, bitter, all those things. So just because life says something or expects something from us does not mean we need to abide by that. Does not mean that there's not a better way, because there is. Now, I'm not saying that you should just do away and just let your kid have their way and do whatever they want with their grades and all that, because that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is when you switch the gear from high expectations and having expectations in general, which is going to drive you crazy when they don't meet those, what I do is something completely different. I set standards. So I have standards for Kylie, and we talk about them, don't we? But I don't say you must hit these things. What do? I set intentions. And some people don't like the word intentions, but if you really understood what intentions are similar to expectations, except they don't have, hey, if you don't meet this goal, if you don't meet this standard, you don't level up to this intention, I am going to be disappointed in you. It's exact opposite. Hey, I have these standards for you. I have these intentions for you. But if you don't hit them, it doesn't mean I love you less. That's what that means. It means I love you anyway, and we're going to talk about it, we're going to work on it and move forward through that. Because I want you to grow up happy, I want you to grow up strong, and I want you to grow up confident. Do I not say that to you all the time?
Yes.
So I have standards for you.
Yes.
So when you fall short, or when you fail, and I say fail because failing is really a learning lesson, not really a failure unless you quit. So when you fail, do I say, you know, I have more for you, that you're better than that, and they keep trying, but I still say I love you, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, here's what I want for you. Keep striving for that, right? Mm-hmm. Keep striving to get that. I don't get all mad. Okay, I used to get mad, and that's part of the story.
He did used to get very angry at me.
And then this is the lesson. I still get mad every now and then, so that doesn't get, but there's a difference, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. Okay. So I have standards, and I have intentions. All they are is an expectation that brings more love versus potential criticism, which brings further disconnect, because that's exactly what it does in our own mind, because they're not meeting it, and when they're not meeting it, now we have to get after them, we have to set the standard straight, and we have to move forward, and all we want for them is to grow up happy, strong, and confident. We want the best for them. That's why we have these expectations anyway. Even though these unrealistic expectations, a lot of those are passed on, like I said, right? And we need to drop those anyway. So why not just drop expectations all the way and put these intentions and put these standards in place, and then walk with them with love, because that's what they need. That's what your daughters need, love. To know, hey, you're gonna fall short, because guess what? We fall short every single day. And of course we beat ourselves up, but we shouldn't be doing that either. So why are we gonna put expectations on ourselves when we ourselves fail? Right? So let's set some standards for them. Let's set some intentions for them, and then walk with them through love to help guide them, to direct them back to that path, because they are going to fall short. They are going to fall down. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to make bad choices. How do you respond to them when they do that? That's what matters. Do you respond with criticism and anger, or do you respond to them with love and standard and intention? That's the difference. Now, I want to switch it and talk about the story, because we already kind of touched on it, right? That I used to get really angry, really angry,
like mega angry, like
yes. For one, I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't have fulfillment. I had all this junk from Pawpaw and all this other stuff, right?
Told me that.
So that was the thing. I was dealing with my own junk. That's part of the things. But I also had expectations that were passed on by Pawpaw, and we know how we love Pawpaw, right? Mm-hmm. But he's just living this cycle from what his dad to his dad, his dad, his dad, and it was passed on to me, and I finally broke it, because I used to get really angry, especially at homework, right?
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't happen now.
Don't even go there.
Rarely doesn't happen now, does it?
No.
And it was miserable.
Yes.
Because we weren't that close, and then you were scared to try because you thought I was gonna get mad at you.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I don't want to try, because if I get it wrong, he's going to get mad at me. And this is exactly what I do. I didn't want it that way, but that's exactly what I was doing. So when I made this switch, now I get angry occasionally. Not like I used to, though. I still get angry occasionally, but it's not near as much. But what's the difference between me being angry back then and how it happens now when it does?
Well, when it happens now, it is like very rare that you get that angry, and it's just happier.
So, but let's go. Yeah, I'm a lot happier because it's further along. So, but when I do get angry, is it as intense as it used to be?
No.
Is it as long as it used to be? Because I used to be angry for long periods of time too, not just. So, what is the biggest thing that you know that the change that I've made that when I do get angry, how long does it take for me to say something to you? Well, first of all, do I say something to you?
Yes.
What do I say?
You say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me."
Ah! Did I do that before?
No.
No, I just blow it up.
You just got angry. You told me to go in my room, and I was crying.
Yep.
And you didn't even say anything.
Yep. This is how I used to be, and this is why I had her on this one, because this is speaking truth. This is how I used to be. But here's the biggest thing. I own it. When I screw up, I own it. When I get angry, it's me, not her. When you get angry, it's you, not them. It's something inside you. Anytime we get angry, it's us. So I would immediately get angry. So I get angry nowhere near what I used to get because I catch it immediately. Half the time if I start to get angry, I check it before it happens. But when I do get angry, the biggest thing is I own up to it. I own that I messed up and I say I'm sorry. And it's pretty quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, within a matter of a couple minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the longest maybe is what, 5, 10 minutes maybe? Maybe. I don't think it's 10 minutes, but
maybe.
But it's pretty quick.
Probably like 5.
It's probably the longest, but usually it's really quick as soon as it happens. Why? Because I've gained self-mastery. I've learned self-mastery to control my emotions instead of allowing my emotions control me like I used to, like the outside world always tends to do, and that's how it was before, and no longer does that because I own up to it. So you're going to fall short yourself. You're going to fail yourself. Your kids are going to fail. How do you respond to them? That's the difference. With expectations, they automatically put this subconscious thing that if they don't live up to this, I'm going to be disappointed, and it comes across that way no matter what we're trying to do. I don't mean to get angry with you. I just want the best for you. They aren't going to feel it that way because I did the same thing, but she didn't feel good. Now when I came with an intention, hey, here is what I want for you. This is what I have for you. This is what I intend for you to reach. Especially being a leader, right? Hey, leaders, I want more from you. There's so much more that I want from you, especially as a leader, and showing up and showing other kids, your peers, everything. So when you fall short, it's we talk about it, don't we? And I typically don't yell unless it's the same one over and over, which I'm still working on, right? Because I'm not perfect, right?
Nobody's perfect.
So exactly, nobody's perfect. Say that again.
Nobody is perfect.
And you know what? Just because you fall down, you're still great. You're still enough, right? Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, your worth is not tied to what you do and what you don't do, is it? It's tied to who you are inside, isn't it? And you know who you are, aren't you? Don't you? I mean, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. All right. So that was an awesome episode, I believe. Great learning lesson. I had my awesome sidekick on here sharing some of the vulnerability and the openness of how I used to be to where I am now, because to tell you the truth, that was just a few short years ago, right? Almost 4 years ago, so 3.5 years ago, and here I am now. So I made this change, and this is exactly what I teach dads now. How to do that, how to build this awesome relationship, because dads, the way we show up determines how our daughters grow up. So here's what I want to do for you. Actually, I want you guys to do. You may have had some questions during that. You may have some questions for her. You may have some more questions for me, whether it's on expectations, whether it's on intentions, whether it's on standards, or anything else we talked about or didn't talk about it that triggered it when you were watching this video. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to leave a response down below. Point down below for me. Just do that. You just point down. Yeah. Leave a response down below in the comments, and with your question, so that I can answer them for you and come back and answer, because that question, someone else is going to have that, and there's going to be lots of people watching these episodes. And your answer could help someone else. Don't leave that inside. So if something resonated with you, something doesn't resonate with you, and you need more clarity on, or just something, well, even you can just give us some compliments if you want. I'm okay with that too. But,
we're always okay with compliments
okay
around here.
If you love what we're doing, then just leave a comment, leave a question, let us know how you're doing. Let us know what you got from this episode. That's going to help people as well, all right? And then if you are ready to take your life to the next level, if you are ready to tap into your inner power and your strength and create the clarity. You tired?
What?
You're sleeping, or am I boring you now?
You're boring me. You're totally boring me.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm just tired.
Oh, that was funny though.
I had to get up super early.
So if you want the clarity, the confidence, and the freedom that you desire, and if you're looking to find your own life mastery, your emotional mastery, then let's have a conversation. Reach out to me. I'll have a link to my calendar. You can schedule a call with me, and we're going to have a quick conversation just to see what your current situation is, see how I might be able to help you. And then we'll go from there. Let's take this journey of the Model Dad Revolution. Let's take it and walk it together. Because again, the way we show up, dads, is the way our daughters grow up. We are important and we matter, and our daughters need every single bit of that when we are in their lives. They need it. They need it in different areas, from when they're little to when they're her age, almost teen, preteen, and then when they're teenagers, and even when they're adults. But we need to help them show up the way but the only way we can show up for them the way they deserve is we have to show up the way that we were meant to and the way we're destined to. So if you don't feel like you are successful, you don't feel fulfilled, and maybe you're dealing with a lot of stress and frustration and overwhelm, because that's just how life's supposed to be, and that's how a man is supposed to be, to provide and protect, then let's have a conversation, because I want to show you a better way. All right, this is Tony Fonte, and this is
Kylie Fonte.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Model Dad
Revolution.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, talk to you all later. See you soon on the next episode. Bye-bye.